Build back better or build black better, build better black people. I don't know what he's trying to do,
Build black
but
better.
build blacks better. I don't.
Build black better. Yeah.
I don't think he knew what it was. I mean, he might build them like
Oh,
roaches. I don't know.
man.
I don't know.
Oh,
He might be thinking roaches. We're going to talk about Mr. Biden's. Would you call it an economic plan or Bidenomics?
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
Bidenomics.
I don't know.
Don't you know the keywords that the administration
Oh.
used? It's Bidenomics, my friends.
Add Biden to
Bidenomics.
anything. If you add Biden to anything, it won't work.
Clearly.
Just
Even
telling
Obama
you.
knew that.
Yeah.
Like his brain, his feet, his legs, his
I mean,
hands,
His chin. Have you seen
His
the chin?
chin.
Yeah, the chin.
his mouth.
Everything
They need
about
to
that.
send him
man.
back to the manufacturer because he's just
Made
all
in China.
jacked.
He was probably made in because he
Literally.
was made in China.
Oh,
Yeah, he
geez.
was made in China.
I mean, between the
I
Petit
wish.
Potato and the black lesbian press secretary, this is a whole dumpster fire.
I wish he was made in China because then it would break like halfway through.
but it is broken.
No, he isn't though because he isn't gone. He's still there.
No,
If it
no,
was
no. You
broken,
still
it would
keep
still be
you
there.
still keep stuff from China. He just called a hoarder at that point. That's all. Okay, so America at this point we've become hoarders because we're keeping broken stuff from China. Okay.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
we're gonna
Just
get
look
into
at the-
all of that.
Just look at the Republican Party. Of course we are.
We're gonna get into all of that, including the Build Back Better plan, because I think he has it listed somewhere. We'll dive into it when we get back. So don't go nowhere. Biden. Anybody know what his plan is actually for the Build Back? Has anyone ever seen the Build Back Better plan?
He has a plan.
Apparently, it was supposed to be for infrastructure, but it wasn't for infrastructure.
Oh, okay. Well, let's
That's
take a look at it, shall we? That's because
Yeah.
that's the. I don't want to tell Joe or tell people something that's not true about Joe. Because anybody need to lie on Joe? Joe do enough of that himself. Anybody need to continue to lie?
The self-incriminating
need to do that.
potato.
Just do it from the White House.
There you go. So this is not me saying this is the White House's webpage. Okay. It says White House right there. Y'all see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
White House.
I see
The
it.
Build Back Better framework. President Joe Biden believes that there's no greater economic engine in the world than the hard work and ingenuity of the American people. But for far too long, the economy has worked great for those at the top while working families get squeezed. President Biden promised to rebuild the backbone of the country, the middle class, so that it's time everyone comes along. The Build Back Better framework does just that. Anyone out there in the middle class? How's your backbone?
I know, right?
I have a herniated disc at this point.
Mine's compressed. It's compressed as hell right now. My backbone is not working.
Yeah, my back is broken from carrying all these politicians.
Illegals. Yes, and illegals. I'm gonna say it. I'm tired of carrying illegals. I'm sick and tired of carrying y'all foreign people that don't want to pay your fair share and you don't want to come in here illegally. I'm sick and tired of carrying y'all. I had to do it legally and pay out the wazoo to do it. You should have the right to do it too. So do it and stop trying to milk the system. You absolute loser is coming over here. Okay, I'm gonna say it out loud. Ain't nobody like you. Nobody like you.
Don't.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Nobody likes the illegals.
Don't say that.
Nobody likes illegals. Nobody.
Are we still on YouTube, guys? Can we check?
You can say that all you want. It's fine. You can say you don't like
whatever you want.
What you can't say is you wish for them to, expire, but you can say you don't like them. I don't. So here we go. Let's figure out the frame. The framework will set the United States on course to meet its climate goals.
There it is.
Hold on.
Climate goals, yeah.
What does the climate have to do with my backbone? I'm just confused as to how that's going to help the middle class. But anyway, let's see. I'll give you create millions of good paying jobs, enable more Americans to join and remain in the labor force, and grow the economy from the bottom up and the middle out.
Well,
Now, sounds good.
Yes.
But hear me out. You're going to grow the economy from the bottom up. If the bottom is broken, how are you going to grow anything from down there?
There's no foundation.
It makes sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So you grab nothing from the bottom, bring it to the middle, and take nothing to the outside. And that's exactly what. So he is building back exactly to plan.
Now, another question is, wasn't he like the vice president or something with Obama?
At one point, yeah.
How come
Yeah.
they didn't build back better when he was with Obama?
They were hoping to. Remember, it was
Oh,
hope
yeah.
and change.
Hope and change. That's
Hope and-
right.
Teacher, I got
Yeah,
the
but-
answer. It's called the Republicans. The Republicans stopped.
Oh yeah,
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what
Those
right.
Republicans stopped
the Republicans. Yeah, it was their fault.
But Coy, didn't they have like the House and the Senate the first 2 years? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, they didn't.
You're not
jam
supposed to
an
be talking about
entire
that.
We
pseudo
can't talk about
universal health care down our throat now.
Oh
They didn't.
yeah.
We're essentially just forced you to pay money to, insurance companies.
Build
Y'all-
back.
Y'all
With
remember
their
that movie?
horrible plans.
Do y'all remember that movie UHF? Anybody ever seen UHF with Weird Al?
Yeah, that was an old
Okay,
movie,
you know why I'm bringing that up? Because it was always this bum outside the radio station, outside the executive's office, right? And he's change. You got change. That was Obama and Biden for like 8 years.
Mhm.
Okay, they keep hoping that you have enough change to give them. They don't have hope and change to give you. They are hoping you got change to keep
got
their
change.
foundation afloat. Hope and change.
And I do have the address from Biden whenever
Oh,
we want that.
Good. I'll be with
Oh,
you in
yeah.
a second here. Here's what the Build Back Better framework will mean for Linda from Peoria, Illinois. Linda is a working mother in Peoria, Illinois. She works at a local manufacturing facility as a production worker, and she earns $40K a year. She's pregnant with her son, Leo. How? Okay, stop. Collaborate and listen. She's
Look
pregnant.
at that hard hat.
She is pregnant with a clump of cells.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You pro-life nut job. She's pregnant with a clump of cells.
They call
It's
it
just a fetus.
It's a fetus.
a clump of cells.
Clumpy
Once
cells.
Leo is born, Linda begins receiving child tax credit of $300 per month, which is untrue. She does not.
And then
I hope people understand that that's a lie right off the top. That's not how child tax credit goes. In case people are unsure, you might want to look at taxes. At $3,600 annually, and you see how they make sure to put this right. You see this? They put that right there, $3,600 annually. Okay, just make sure you keep that in mind to help cover essential costs like groceries, rent, and medicine.
it's
Wait,
awfully
wait.
bold of you to assume that she's going to have that kid.
I know, right?
There's that too. But wait, how does $300 a month help with rent when the average rent cost in America is like $1,500 a month?
Don't know.
Hope and
Because she needs
change.
to add it on top of the child support she gets from the dad who isn't there. Right?
Oh.
It's $300 plus the child support.
Oh yeah,
It's
okay.
hope and
And
change. That's
Hope and
what it is. Remember that, Jay Lee. Everything they're talking about, this ties into hope and change. Okay.
So no logic at all. Just believe in
Just
the
hope and
start?
change.
Okay.
Hope and
I
change.
hope I make rent, and
Yeah.
I might need to change my address. That's hope and change right there.
I hope they don't put me in Section 8 housing.
I hope my neighbor isn't a meth dealer and it doesn't blow up in the middle of the night.
I hope they move me to Section 8 housing and I have to change the locks on my door. That's your hope.
Yeah, hope and
Because
change.
Pookie is my next door neighbor and Ray Ray's across the hall.
You might change my life
I
together.
hope when Biden starts World War III, he gets blown up first. That's the change we need.
That's the
But-
change.
Hey, that was the Black Messiah's plan, right? Jesse Lee Peterson, Black
Oh
Messiah.
my gosh, that was good. That was super
Oh,
good
yeah,
right
that was
there.
great, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome.
As Leo grows up, the government helps cover the cost for his daycare, guaranteeing that Linda doesn't need to pay more than 7% of her income on childcare. Now,
Okay, well, hang on a second.
Oh man, I have dark humor jokes for this too. and I don't-
anybody do some quick math? Asian, can you do some quick math?
I was just gonna say
7
$40K a year with
7%, right?
yeah.
Okay, so what is she
So the
paying?
additional $3,600 annually. Supposedly.
Okay, if anybody has tried to pay for healthcare, knows you need an entire second income in order to pay for childcare.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Yep.
Like you could have two parents, and then one of them is legitimately just working to pay for childcare. That's it.
Yeah, but what was he saying about the math again?
Now it's 40K is what she's making, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And she doesn't need to pay more than 7% of her income on childcare.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if we say that she's got the 36, right, which is giving her 300, and they say they cover, I'm yet to see how much they cover for daycare. They have never put that number. Have they ever put that number on how much they're helping Or is it, what is it based on? They've never told us that either, right? They just say that they're covering it. So 7% of the 40K puts her at what? The same exact 36?
Yeah.
Because 10% would be 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's so you're saying you're gonna give her 36 in the child credit, which is 300 a month, and then you're gonna help her, but you don't tell me how much she's gonna help, but she has to no more than 7% of her income on childcare.
Yeah.
Does it
She'd
matter
still
what?
She'd
Yeah,
still
but
be short $800.
but we haven't told me what. Okay, so what's your criteria for her childcare? Like, is there a certain place she can go? Like how you see how WIC works? You can only buy certain kinds of milk and certain kinds of bread and certain.
Yeah.
So is that how can I take her to like an A1 level?
$2,100 a month, right? Is what they're saying is what she's spending in that. And I know that's a lie because like anybody that's spending less than $3,000 on childcare a month is only doing it like once or twice a week, maybe. Because that's in most cities.
With that money, she can get childcare on Skid Row. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of jobless. There's a lot of jobless people out there that would watch that baby for that amount of money easily, and they'll smoke it up.
Yeah. So if you actually did the math with 40K annual salary, the government's going to help pay $2,800 annually for daycare.
Yeah.
Which leaves her $800 of that child credit left.
Y'all ready for this
I'm
one?
assuming it's coming out of that, right?
Y'all ready for this one? I don't think you're ready for this one.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, so here it is. These are the options. Excuse me. Let's find out. Paying for quality childcare. Let's zoom in on this a little bit. Can be a struggle for many families in the United States. The cost of childcare is often the biggest part of the family's budget and can be higher than the cost of housing, food, and even college tuition. If you need help paying for childcare, there are programs that can help. Below are a summary of the different programs. Ready? Government programs, child care financial assistance, also called vouchers, certificates and subsidies. Now, the state and territories receive funding from federal government to provide child care financial assistance to families with low income. You know who wouldn't fall into low income?
Who?
40K lady.
Yeah, that's true.
The 40K lady would not fall into low income. The low income would be below 30. So she's not getting a whole lot of help. They want to make you think the middle class is the one they're going to help with child daycare, but they're not. They're helping low income who don't need it because they're always home already on welfare
or illegals.
Okay, let's continue. Eligibility requirements are different in each state. Select your state from the territory and you'll see your state's resources page. Review the financial assistance for families tab to find your local child care financial assistance program. So obviously it's not just, oh, this is what it is for everyone. They gauge it based on what I'm telling you now. At 40K, you're not going to get a whole lot of help from the government. You're not.
Nope.
You know how I know? I have been at that 40K level, and you are always either $1 or more over where they can help you.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
Yeah. Okay. Head Start or Early Start, same thing. State funded pre-kindergarten, same thing. And military. Now, local and provider specific assistance. Local nonprofit organizations and individual childcare providers may offer free or fee assistance or scholarships. Ask the providers that you are considering if they offer any child. There's not a guarantee there either. Not a guarantee in the sibling discount and not a guarantee in the military discount. There is no guarantee at all in any of this crap that they're talking.
Never is.
None.
I mean, as the resident redneck and grew up in Arkansas, I can attest to that. My mom always made just a little bit too much, even though she would be struggling, even as a nurse, struggling, right? It's like she always makes just a little bit too much.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Ain't that something? So as Leo grows up, the government covers help for the cost of daycare, guaranteeing that Linda doesn't pay more than 7%, which is a lie, as we just saw. When Leo turns 3, He attends a high-quality pre-K program for free. Also a lie.
Yeah, I don't think so, sir. I don't think so.
What? Okay. Name me the high-quality pre-K.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna wonder. It's like name the high quality pre-K that you're given.
And high quality by who? By the government standards? Have you seen government schools?
It must have drag queen story hour in it every single day. That's high quality right there. It's got to be diverse. When Leo leaves
high school, he is able to enroll in a community college thanks to extended Pell Grants and investment in community colleges. That is not something that Biden came up with. FYI.
Sorry, I'm on that Build Back Better internet. I got that Build Back Better internet, and it just went. It does that. Yeah. That's how the world is.
In every single one of these plans that Democrats come up with, they never mention trades at all or certificates
ever.
Anything like no HVAC, no plumbing, no welding. Any of these 3 jobs right there are paying 6 figures right now.
Yeah, but he's going to school to learn how to put colored things on top of colored things. It looks like a stamp and some ink and some goggles.
I damn well know he's not doing that job because all the Chinese kids are.
They are.
They're the ones. They've got the little tiny fingers and they're putting the little resistors in the board. Okay.
Do you see the propaganda in the background? The Green New Deal. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's very green. You know, with the windmills and stuff.
The wind, right?
Yeah.
So thanks to his community college training, Theo lands a good-paying union job as a wind turbine technician. A wind turbine technician. Leo's job is one of 4 million new jobs a year that are supported by President Biden's economic plan. You have not created 4 million new jobs a year. First of all, because there are not that many wind turbine plants going in at all. Secondly, I live in a state where wind turbine plants are the most useless things on planet Earth.
Yes.
And there are everywhere here in Washington State. And they are by far the most broken things. They break down all the time and they have serving no purpose whatsoever.
Now, I wonder how much oil. I wonder how much oil goes in those things.
Plenty.
Yeah, there's a lot of oil that goes in those things.
I'll show you the most terrifying thing about them.
Birds.
No, is when they catch on fire.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
You think a helicopter crash is bad? Wait until one of those bad boys go up.
Because when they swing and they fly far because they're moving faster than they look.
Yeah.
It's like I thought it was green energy until it starts the whole West Coast fire again.
Red energy is what that really is.
You know what produces better energy and is probably safer?
Yeah,
nuclear
people,
water.
Yep,
water way safer.
Okay, so later in life, Linda needs home care. You notice that they have not mentioned daddy once, like y'all said.
Yeah, daddy's not in the picture, man. It's single mothers everywhere.
Hey. Later in life, Linda needs home care and hearing care. So you're calling her deaf and old. Thanks to President Biden's plan, Linda can access affordable hearing care through Medicare, and Leo is able to afford at-home elder care for his mom. Here's my question.
Lie.
Now hear me. I have been a part of a union before, and you do get a pension. Why are you not mentioning her pension? Because you know why? You're planning on breaking the union and making sure that they don't have a pension for those people that they have to depend on the government.
She got fired before her pension was able to
long before it got active. Yes.
So what do you say? Affordable health care through Medicare. And
see, what they don't mention is that if they live in Canada, all they have to do is say, hey, do you want to use MAID for his mom? So they don't have to pay for hearing anymore.
Okay, so investment in children caregiving.
So the most transformative investment in children and caregiving in generations offers universal and preschool for all 3 and 4-year-olds, the largest expansion of universal and free education since states and communities across the country established public high school 100 years ago. Yeah. Another lie.
Yeah, and explain to me what the Department of Education has done to improve education in the United States. Because I want to see those metrics because I know there are kids right now that are 12, 13 that can't effing read.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we just need to defund the Department of Education, like a lot of conservatives have been saying. We don't need the Department of Education, and it's a waste of money. and it's all a waste of money.
The
way the money gets moved through the Department of Education and it gets divvied out to schools around the country, it's all a freaking scam.
The thing that I always got mad about with schools is the fact that they'll get an influx of money, and you know what they always spend it on? I'm sure everybody has the answer. No. The new football stadium. Every single time, it's the new football stadium. We gotta get a new stadium, man.
Yeah.
Let me check this out here.
So while Marlon's checking that out, I actually tried to look up Montessori preschool tuition rates. And if you're a toddler in some Montessori schools, and these are prestigious private preschool, you're looking at a $20,000 a year, $21,000 a year tuition for your toddler to be at that location all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's college, guys.
Cheap. That's cheap.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
Oh, that's cheap, man. It's cheap.
Very cheap. Now,
I mean, it could be worse. It could be like $100,000.
You want to know where the money's gonna go into? Really, this is it here. The largest effort to combat climate change in American history. Yeah. Delivered substantial consumer rebates and tax credits to reduce the cost of middle-class families shifting to clean energy and electrification. Understand this: the majority of the middle class do not own their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Understand this.
Facts.
America, hear me out. The majority of middle-class America does not own their homes. So what's going to happen? Well, you're going to give that tax credit to the person that does own the home. They are going to do it, and they're going to still charge the person renting that place the same amount of money, if not more, because now they have upkeep and they have to recoup
the costs. Yeah. The biggest owner of single-family homes in the United States are hedge funds like BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. These people own your homes.
Go figure.
And the thing about home ownership, for those of us that own a home or have owned a home, you'll never own your home, like Marlon said. No matter what, you don't own it. The state will always own your property. And they can do what they want. This is why they have property tax. So you can pay your house off, and then they just keep raising your property tax to where you'll never own it. And you can't,
unless you're like 100% disabled, like veteran, then they won't. In certain states.
But they end up taxing people out their homes, and that's one of the biggest problems in the housing market right now. It's not the fact that people can't afford the mortgage itself or the principal; it's the fact that people can't afford the damn taxes.
Yeah,
you know,
my wife deals with that every single day. By the way.
And it taxes people. It taxes people out of their homes, and that's kind of what happened to me. It wasn't the fact that I couldn't afford it, the principal. I was just tired of paying those taxes, and it was a ridiculous amount of money. So buying a home is a scam. You know, what I mean, it is. It's just
unless you build your own,
or build your own.
I was going to ask you, like, so this is the kind of thing that you had to have a conversation with your lender, right? Is that you get a bill from them and saying, hey, you owe us X amount of money now because the taxes have changed and your escrow's in the negative, right?
Yeah,
that's basically what happened to you every single time. It's like, hey, or you got your insurance went up and now it's $11,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got lucky with the insurance, but that's exactly what happened. I got a letter in the mail saying that you're back on your escrow because your taxes went up. And I'm like, well, how is that my fault? It was like almost $5,000. I was like, how is that my fault? I've been paying on time every month. I pay my taxes. I pay it all. And now since you guys raised my taxes, you're saying I owe you.
Yeah.
That makes zero sense.
The reason why you owe the lender is because the lender already paid out that money. And so you need to recoup their costs because they're the ones that went ahead and paid it for you. And now that's why you have to pay them back. It's because they already lent you the money.
I didn't ask them to pay.
That's called being stupid, is what that's called.
I didn't ask them to pay anything for me. I didn't ask that.
But they have to pay it. That's the problem.
Well, that's
they have to pay it, but I didn't ask them to.
That's on them.
That's like saying, hey, I bought you this new car. You owe me money. I didn't ask you to buy that car. But
keep the car.
Like, legally speaking, they don't have a choice. They have to. They have to
legally
pay the
speaking,
state.
they can kick rocks, and
and that's what you did. Exactly.
But that's exactly what I did. I kicked rocks.
But here's the thing. Even if you say that, even with the taxes and all that, the majority of Americans don't even own the home to have the taxes to pay.
That's right.
The majority of them are in rental phases. And with a rental phase, you are at the mercy of what the owner has to pay out of pocket because it'll trickle down to you.
Yep.
This Green New Deal thing nonsense that they're trying to bring to the table will only encumber the renter, because when the person that owns the home, even if they go to get the credit, they still have to pay out of pocket to get the stuff done. It doesn't pay for the full amount to get the home fitted for the Green New Deal.
Right.
They give them a partial amount, and that partial amount will only facilitate. No, you remember this. The owner does not have any plans to upgrade the house. They're happy with the house. You come and tell them, well, everything in the house needs to be green. You can't have a gas stove anymore. You can't have this. You can't have that. Now, you as a house owner renting to somebody has to pay out of pocket for something that you never wanted. Never wanted. You now have to pay out of pocket, and now you incur debt. In order for me to pay off my debt, now you know who that falls to? The person in my home. Because now you have two things happen. I have to bring somebody in to fix up the house, right? Now I have to displace my renter for a bit because they have to get the place modeled. Once they get it remodeled, then they move back in. Now they have to have, now here's it. You have to train these people on how to use a certain amount of things, use power, use this, use the other. Everybody else will be suffering for this. And it's not short term. The money is not just going to get repaid over a year. You're talking about a massive upgrade. Here's the massive upgrade. You're looking at somewhere between $5 to $8 trillion to upgrade just businesses in the United States. That's not including homes. If they were to try and include homes throughout the United States government would have to fork up somewhere in the region, people, I should say, in the region of $50 trillion. Coy, what is the national debt right now?
let me look it up.
I don't know. The debt clock is changing. So
is it at 20-something trillion right now?
It's probably lower.
No, it's
now.
more than that.
I know the
last time I checked was at 30, right?
Yeah, the debt clock's been acting a little funny if you've been paying attention to stuff like that.
Yeah, it hadn't. Okay, it's at $33 trillion.
Okay, right, so you are talking about almost double the debt we are in to try and make America green. And not just green with no purpose whatsoever.
Yep.
And no way of sustaining it. Because here's the deal. They want people to buy green cars too, right? These electric cars.
Yep.
If the average salary in the United States is somewhere in the region of $40,000 to $47,000 a year, including both rich and poor, that's about the average. You expect me to spend my income on a $30,000 car? Are you insane?
Exactly.
You know who else is insane?
Marlon upped that price because an average Tesla ranges from 40 to 53K.
There you go.
Yeah. And here's something people have to think about. You know, always look at the big picture. We focus on the shiny objects in this country too much, just a little target, and we focus on that. But we have to look outside of that target. We have to understand what's going on. So if you think about our fuel right now, how the Biden administration, because they're pushing this new Green Deal, Build Back Better, they sold all our fuel reserves, right? So when our country runs out of fuel, and you can look at the big picture, this is all part of the plan. So now our country runs out of fuel. What does that force people to buy if they have to get to and from work? It forces people, they're forcing people to buy electric. They've already talked about they want to get rid of gas vehicles by 2030. You guys got to look at the big picture, America. Look at the big picture. So if he sold all our fuel reserves, we only have like maybe 8 more days left of the fuel reserves, or maybe a little less. All our fuel is gone. And then the people that are selling it are doubling and tripling the price to make back that money that they're going to lose because we're out of fuel. They have to make their money. Once the fuel is gone and people are stagnant and people are stuck, what does that force people to go and buy? It forces you to go to buy an electric car. So this is all part of the plan. This is it.
Yep. Then there's
don't buy into it.
And coming from our potato in chief, he believes that this isn't a problem.
Are the wars in Israel and Ukraine more than the United States can take on at the same time?
We're the United States of America, for God's sake. The most powerful nation in the history, not in the world, in the history of the world. The history of the world.
History.
We can take care of both of these and still maintain our overall international defense.
Are the wars in Israel?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
That's how stupid he is.
That doesn't seem to bear true at all.
No, not at all.
Tater.
I know.
Tater.
America is so great we can take 2 dicks and take it in the ass at the same time.
And both of them, front and back.
So advances in environmental justice through a new clean energy and sustainable accelerator that will invest in projects around the country while delivering 40% of the benefits of investments to 40% only of disadvantaged communities as part of the president's Justice 40 initiative.
Okay, hang on, pause.
Uh-huh.
Am I seriously reading this from the White House itself? Advances environmental justice.
Uh-huh.
Justice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Captain Planet episode, right?
Sounds like some Antifa.
Sounds like a woke college student.
Environmental justice, though.
Well,
man.
I mean, it was wrote by a woke college student, so
to
be fair.
You remember when they said about how climate change affects who?
Minorities.
Yeah.
You remember they said that. So think about the wording. When they say climate justice.
Yeah, they're appealing to the senses.
That's right.
Yeah. I feel represented already.
Green energy will save the black race. That's
it'll keep them from having diabetes and high cholesterol.
I feel safe.
Climate was changed.
It'll make their cookouts better.
Jesus Christ.
Look. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, back to, real quick about the point about the fuel and buying electric cars.
Uh-huh.
So people have to think, about, okay, we're all driving electric cars. It's all clean and we're losing whatever. We have another bad storm like they had in Texas. What goes down? The power grid. What does that do to people? Keeps you stranded. Once you're stranded, who's in control? Hey, 911, U.S. government, we're going to come and save you, and we're going to drive a food truck around in a diesel truck and give you guys supplies and food, because they're not going to use freaking electric.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah,
they'll come around with tasers. That's electric.
Oh yeah,
it'll be fine.
They'll just shut your power off.
They'll come with
tasers.
off.
People who are rich enough will always have electricity, man. Like even when we go into World War III and we're in like rationing period and we're going through rolling blackouts because we don't have any gas to keep the freaking stoves on, they're gonna be like, "Well, yeah,
diabetes."
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So, like when the rolling blackout comes, it'll be all you poor people that are gonna freeze to death because all the rich people have got it. Because you're like, hey, it's fine. We got to keep the industries going, right? So we've paid for it. We paid our private security. We paid for our private electricity. We're fine.
We bought up all the fuel. I got fuel tanks.
We invested in solar early. Why didn't all you poor people do the same thing?
So I have a question. I have a question. Okay. Now I'm coming from this having paid for my own health insurance. Okay. Mm-hmm. When I was doing home security installation, the company I worked for had insurance, but you had to pay for it. Yeah. I had a family of 5. I was paying somewhere in the region of $300 a month. No, sorry, every 2 weeks. $300 for my insurance, right? And this was back in 2010, 11, and 12. Okay,
before inflation and the second recession.
Okay. So I was but mind you, what I was paying for was just the basic of the basic health insurance in case of emergency, break glass kind of insurance, right?
Yeah.
Now to get something that would actually be relatable to my family, that price, when I looked at it, that price went up to $500 every other week. Now, mind you, I was only getting paid at that time $17 an hour. Now, I'll let y'all do them kind of math. And now, mind you, I was working overtime just so I can do and pay for my insurance. So when you look at this particular statement that they're about to make, reduces prescription drug cost, there aren't very many Americans on prescription drugs either. Okay, first off. So you're dealing with, again, minority of people. Strengthens the Affordable Care Act and reduces premiums for 9 million Americans. Understand what our population is. Our population is 24 million people. You're trying to tell me your wonderful act is going to reduce it for 9 million. That's not even a percentage.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now closes the Medicaid coverage gap, leading 4 million uninsured people to gain coverage.
Still only at 2%.
Okay. Expands Medicare to cover hearing benefits, not dental, hearing, not vision, hearing.
Hearing.
Because understand, government one, it's very hard to get quality dental and very hard to get quality vision.
Yep.
Okay, Medicaid and Medicare do not pay very much for. You get the basic of you might get one eye test a year, and you get a prescription for glasses, and I think it only covers it up to $100.
Yeah. What's the hey, hang on? What was the last eyeglasses you bought? How much were they? Yeah, 170. Like last time we paid for glasses was 170,
and that's cheap.
Yeah, and that's cheap.
Okay, and that mind you is what you still going to have to pay out of your own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
This nonsense is not just okay. Look, I know that their platitudes and how they say stuff really appeals to you because they look at you in your eye. We care, and we're gonna do this, and they make sure that their tone, the words they use, appeal to your emotional sense, and they hope to shut off your brain.
Yep.
You cannot shut off your brain with these people because their whole plan is to destroy you. None of this is helping any of the people that need it. The majority of people that will get this actually affected upon them are already people that are dealing with the government as their livelihood. That's the fact. Middle America, this isn't going to affect them at all.
Yeah.
At all. We have what, maybe 230 million people in America who are middle class.
Mm-hmm. And it's getting smaller each year.
All right. So let's say 230 million, and you're only trying to help 9 million of them. Your great assistance is 9 million. That's helping middle America. Really? And I bet you half of that 9 million are in low incomes. So technically you're only helping 4.5 million middle class Americans gain an upper hand in life. This is nonsense. This is the Build Back Better. This is supposed to be better. Okay? This is supposed to be better. Now, here we go. Ready for this? They love talking about tax. The most significant effort to bring down costs and strengthen the middle class in generations, really, makes a single largest and most comprehensive investment in affordable housing in history. What they mean is section, what's that number?
Section
8.
Section 8.
Middle class people don't live in that. They rent and they go to work. They work a 9 to 5, and they're not trying to depend on the government. What you're trying to do for affordable housing has nothing to do with people who own a home and rent it out.
Mm-hmm. And they always say affordable housing, not quality housing.
Not quality, yeah.
Yeah.
I have affordable
if it's got a
shoes.
roof and it has some roaches, you're fine.
I have affordable shoes, but they cost me like $2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and something you got to think about with this Section 8 housing, right? Is the minute the middle America can't afford their houses anymore, guess who comes in and buys up those foreclosed houses or those houses these people can afford? The government. Guess what the government's plan is to turn all these subdivisions into a Section 8 subdivision, government owned, government ran, which qualifies as a 15-minute city. Y'all better use your brain here.
Yeah.
Like think outside the box a little bit. You know what I mean? Everything's a plan. Everything's a rich man's trick.
You ready for proof that I was right? Here it is. Extends the expanded earned income child tax credit for around 17 million who? Low wage workers.
Low wage.
Is that middle class?
No, that's not.
I didn't think so. Expands access to affordable, high quality education beyond high school. Who does that apply to? Middle class? No. That's low income as well. Promotes nutrition security and support children's health. Who's that? Not middle class.
Nutrition
low income.
security?
Apparently. Strengthens the middle class through historic investment in equity, safety, and fairness. That is not what the middle class is about, regardless, because the middle class is about pulling themselves up and getting it done, and you not standing in their way.
That's right.
That, again, is what you call victimhood, and it applies to the lowest common denominator. Invests in immigration reform. How in the world is that helping the middle class when you're bringing low class people into the country to support them? You're stealing my bread to give to people who have no rights to be here. What is wrong with you? My good, Build Back Better.
Well, so let's parse this out because if we're looking at the numbers, right? Linda, their example, is making $40K a year. She's got $2,800 in childcare tax credit or whatever, leaving her $800 left.
Yep.
That's barely anything to survive on. Meanwhile, What are they giving immigrants? Like 45, 50K?
It's no 9K a month.
9K a month. That's
Right now, New York is offering 9K a month. Chicago is offering 6K a month.
So what
Look,
you're telling me is I need to go to Mexico
and
and
come
then
back
jump across
over.
the border and claim I'm South African.
Bro,
that's
I was making as an electrician
$108,000 a year.
As an electrician, I was doing 5K to 7K a month, and these people coming over here doing nothing and getting 9.
That's right.
That's 108K a year, guys. That's a 6-figure income. That's a CEO salary, if that.
Middle class.
Yeah.
They don't care about us.
Build back better.
And real quick to go back to that about the nutritional security, justice, or whatever, nutritional. You know whose plan that was, right?
That's Michelle's.
Michelle.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of put little things in there, but it's still there. That's Michelle Obama's plan, or Michael, Big Mike, whatever.
Big Mike. Big Mike. Big Mike in the house. If this was Wednesday, we'd be like, Mike. Guess what day it is?
It's amazing.
Now, here we go. This is the framework is paid for, it says. You ready? You ready? Combined with the savings from repealing the Trump administration's rebate rule, I'm going to let y'all look that one up to see if it was a good thing. The plan is fully paid for by asking more from the very largest corporations and the wealthiest Americans. The 2017 tax cut delivered a windfall to them, and this would reverse that and invest in the country's future. No one making under $400,000 will pay a penny more in taxes.
You know how I know that's a lie? Because they've changed it from the 1% to the top 5%.
Thank you.
And what's the presidential salary? Right there.
Don't ask that. Don't ask that.
123K.
Well below 400.
400K.
But I mean, that's just the stuff that he reports on his taxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Funny how that works out, that he's gonna not pay taxes because he's roughly that salary.
Well, I mean, if your son and you share a bank account and he gets things from certain people and it goes into the same account, it's not bribery or anything. It's not his money. It's his son's money.
That's right.
And if he doesn't pay taxes on said money, then that's his fault. So, that's why he's getting in trouble.
How about this? Hey, Zaddy government, leave us the hell alone. Leave our money alone. Stay out of our lives. Stay out of our family. Stay out of our business. How about that? You just sit there and make decisions for issues dealing with outside entities trying to hurt our country.
Yeah.
Within, leave us the hell alone. We don't want you to talk about our money. We don't want you to care about us. We don't care. If you leave us alone, we'd be fine. But you keep putting your hand in our cookie jars and taking our cookies and then raising the price of the cookie when we try to go back and buy the cookie. Then we can't afford the cookie no more.
Exactly.
Okay.
My wife and I were having this conversation about taxes this morning. There's no amount of taxes that the government will take from you that will be enough. Right. And everybody's complaining, especially the left, is like, we just need to raise taxes in order to pay for all these goodies that we want. And it's like, no, it won't. You'll never get that. Even if they had all the taxes in the world, which they do, they still wouldn't give you universal health care. You want to know why? Because we're paying for all these wars. We're paying for all these things. We're subsidizing Europe. We're subsidizing almost half the world with your money. So the government's coming in and taxing you for everything you do, taking that money and giving it to somebody else. We are the biggest socialist state in the world without even realizing it, right? We give it to corporations. We give it to countries. We just don't give it to the American people who need it. Period.
Okay, so hear me out. Hear me out carefully, okay? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, good. Let's calculate that. So, what do you think would be a good percentage that they would want to fine the wealthiest people? What is it at right now in terms of their tax bracket? Something around 7 to 8%.
The 5% of income earners is actually $250,000, which is what the new thing is coming out of New York from AOC. Is they want to raise taxes on the top 5%, not the 1% anymore, the 5%.
Okay, so how much? How much they want to raise it?
I thought it was 30%, wasn't it?
They want to raise it by that. Something.
Okay,
like that.
so let's take Jeff Bezos's money. Okay, what his net worth is about 160 billion. Okay, And if they were to do the 20%, let's do 20%, and you'd end up with what, 320 million, right? Is that it?
Mhm.
About
320, no, 3
See,
billion,
this is
3
the dirty
billion,
secret they never
200
tell
million.
you, is that we're talking about that's how much their net worth is, but they don't
Right,
have
but that's not
realized
what their money
gains.
is. But that's not how
Yeah,
much money they have. So you'd have to try
exactly.
and break down their assets and cash it out in order to get the funding. Okay. So
Yeah.
when they tell you that the wealthy people are making money and this is how much they're worth, idiots out there on the left will look at the money that they're worth and think that's what they have in the bank. And you can
Yeah,
just
it's
tax
not.
that bank money and you'll get the portion of the 160 billion and just hand it to people. And so we can get 3,200,000,000 for people to hand out to people. Let me, I know you're not the smartest and most savvy people, and I'm not even an economic guru, but I know a little bit of something about having an asset and having cash on hand and having investments and having all that added together to come up with your net worth.
Yeah.
You can't just take my net worth and say that's what I'm worth, so I'm going to tax you on your net worth.
That's
When they
right.
tell you that they're taxing them, you can only tax them based on a few things: investment and income.
Yep.
And if their
Realized
income is somewhere
gains.
around, I don't know, I would say Jeff Bezos's income is probably somewhere in around the region of about 30 of that 160 billion.
Yeah.
If,
It's not
if
going to
he's
be as
lucky.
much as you think it is. Like
No,
that's
it's not.
that's a problem with liberals is they don't understand how money works. Like they think they know, but for all their education in college, they didn't actually pay attention. Is that there are liquid assets, there's hard assets. There are things that you cannot sell, and there are things you can sell, and
Right.
it takes time to get money. So like, anytime you're like, okay, so think of any movie where like they stole somebody's kid, they're holding them hostage, and it's saying, how much money do you have on hand? And it's like, well, I've got to move things around, I've got to get this asset and that asset in order to get the money. They never have the money on hand because they don't
Never.
keep the money in the bank.
Nope.
They keep it everywhere else but the bank. It is in hard assets. All of
And
their worth is in assets.
God bless them for that, because
Yes, it's
if
theirs.
I was making that amount of money, I'd be doing the same thing. How about this? Let's just leave people's money alone. How about that across the board? Let's just leave them alone. Let people enjoy their money. Stop relying on, this is me, I'm not speaking for everybody else. Stop relying on other people to pay for your poorness. Get out there, make the money, and earn and learn how they did it. Then when you get there, you learn how to move money and move money here and move money there. That's how America's supposed to be.
And stop paying for failures. That's the big thing.
Stop
It's like
paying for everything.
corporate socialism is something we need to stop in America. Like that's when people say like we're at end stage capitalism, and it's like, no, we're at corporate cronyism with social welfare. That's where we're at. It's because we keep paying for corporations that fail. In a true capitalist society, they would fail and then they would go bankrupt and they would be poor, and then somebody else would take their place because that's how it works.
Yeah. Now here's a linchpin.
But Michael, you're not compassionate.
Here's the linchpin in all of this. Okay. Now,
I am.
People who are rich, this is what they'll end up doing if you raise the tax bracket. Listen carefully, because they're not stupid. And even Donald Trump told you this is what would happen when he ran in 2016 and he ran against Hillary. Okay, listen. All they would do is reallocate their monies.
Yeah.
They would put them in shell corporations that you can't touch, and they'd put them in LLCs that you can't touch, and they'd put them in what you call nonprofit organizations that you can't touch, and they'd still reap the benefits of it. And you're never going to be able to tax them at all. On paper, they'll be just like a middle income person, and they have an assets out the wazoo. And if they ever were to retire from their middle income status, they would just have to cash it out, and they no longer are making money, so you can't tax them, but they're rich.
That's right.
If y'all are so stupid that you believe that the government's going to tax rich people to give you money, remain stupid, and I hope you remain broke. I hope you live with roaches for the rest of your stupid life. Because if you really believe that, I have a beach house in Idaho to sell you. You got to be a different level of moron to believe that the government's going to just take money from rich people and hand it to the American people. Hear me out.
Yeah.
If they tax the rich, now they've been taxing you for how long now? Okay.
Yeah.
If they're going to tax the rich, you really believe you are going to see that money before they do?
Nope.
No, man.
Oh,
yeah, right.
Okay.
You will never see that money. This is another conversation we had this morning, is that the reason people get upset for paying taxes, like the reason why Europeans are so happy to pay taxes is because they actually see a benefit to paying taxes. The American people do not see a benefit to pay taxes. What do we really get for our money that we give the government? Nothing. Our schools are failing, our streets are crumbling, our bridges are falling, right? Those, we don't see a immediate benefit. Hell, they can't even get veteran health care right. And then you expect me to be like, trust the government to have universal health care.
Yeah.
I don't trust the government.
It would be nice if we had those things, but we'll never get them because one, they're irresponsible, and two, they don't care.
The government needs to keep their hands off of everything. I'm a true libertarian. Period. I don't want the government to help me with my health care. I don't want the government's hands in veteran health care. I don't want the government's hands in anything. Nothing except the security of our country. That's it. People got to understand, like Marlon was alluding to, about if they tax the rich, do you think that gas prices are going to get lower? Do you think food prices are going to get lower? Do you think your life is going to get better if they tax the rich? Because as Coy stated, we're never going to see the money. Where's the money going? The money's going to their buddies. They're funneling money, they're moving money, and they're taking money while we're down here still paying a ridiculous amount for food, paying a ridiculous amount for energy, paying a ridiculous amount just to exist on a place we was born on. This is why I am anti-tax, anti-anything dealing with the government in my life. I believe we should have a government to help our country function, to have a purpose, but they need to have a purpose. I don't want to hear from them. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to see them. Just do your job. And whatever that is, whatever you guys want to do, but stay the hell out of my life.
Now, this is all coming from the same guy who's taking donations from one of the richest persons in the world, who does not and has investments here in America and is not paying taxes. And who is that? George Soros.
That's right.
Yeah.
He has funded his campaign the first time around. He's funding it now. The same man that has been responsible for the crashing of multiple countries and their income is now backing the same guy telling you that he is for your income. Again, you have to be a special level of dumb to believe that this individual, this wet diaper, is going to help you in your state by taxing his own friends. Really? Okay.
Yeah. I always find it funny that the left always praises George Soros when he's a Nazi collaborator. Just want to point that out there, like the legitimate Nazi collaborator who sold out Jews in order to build his business.
The OG.
But the thing with Soros, I just read an article the other day about how Soros had to shut down a bunch of his profits or whatever he calls them, and costing him billions of dollars. So I think behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff happening that we don't know, and they're going after Soros. They know he's the problem.
I highly doubt that Soros is the kind of dummy that would leave his money in things that can be attacked like that. I'm telling you now, he still has all that money.
No, I'm not saying that they're taking it. I'm saying with these things, he's lost a lot of money because they had to shut him down.
I don't think they've shut. He's lost anything.
But
now, George, look, I hate George, but they got to give the man his credit. The man know how money works.
They need to string him up.
I know the man know how money works. He wouldn't get to this place by playing fair, and he knows how people play fair, and he will do things to make sure that you think you're winning, but he still have his money.
Hey, have you noticed, like, I would say at least two of the most evilest people that want to control Americans and control our money aren't from America: George Soros and Klaus Schwab. And our country sits back. Our leaders sit back and allow these two people to say what they're going to do in our country. Have you noticed that? If Klaus Schwab, if I was the president of the United States and Klaus Schwab got up there and said, "You will own nothing, you will have nothing," I will walk across that podium and slap the taste out of his dang mouth and say, "You're not going to do anything in our country, dude." But
you can't.
I can't because, that's just being bad. But
do you have the spot where that speech is, sir?
Did you see that Joe Biden got caught up in a money laundering scheme?
He was doing that since his first wife.
No, it's actually like out there now.
Yeah, but he's been doing that crap since his first wife.
With his brother.
Yeah.
So now it's finally coming out.
Good. Nothing will happen.
Oh yeah, we always say that it's just another shiny object. But
is it ready, Coy? You ready? Is that
I mean, I've
ready?
got the whole thing. It's like 15 minutes long. I was trying to find
the sweet spot.
Yeah, that's a sweet spot. Because if you want to do the whole 15,
No,
you
no,
can,
no,
but,
we
like, I was
can't.
trying to
No,
find a
no.
spot where he's asking for money.
If you can
I'm sure
find
you
that,
watch
that'd be
no-
great.
I
Please,
ain't
that'd
got
be
the
great.
patience to watch a 15-minute video.
Of Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, he's saying the same thing 15 times per
Yeah.
minute, so it's not even it's not even a 15-minute speech.
We'll just post it on the Savage Patriots page so
On
you guys
loop.
can watch the full video if you want.
On loop. But this Build Back Better plan, people, has nothing to do with building.
Okay.
It has everything to do with going back, and it has nothing to do with better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's all a lie. It is all a lie. And if you look at it on the surface and how they talk, okay, you might buy it
that's
because
actually
it
not a bad
sounds
idea.
good. But when you actually look at the actual paperwork like we did, you're going to see straight up they have nothing to do with the middle class. They're about keeping poor people poor, and they have wanting to bring more immigration people here. That's the two things that they have listed in there. Green, poor people poor, immigrants. Where's the middle class?
They're hollowing out the middle class is what they're doing.
I can understand.
And that's always been their goal. I mean, Marlon and I've been around a little longer than the two on the bottom, and their goal has always been to get rid of the middle class. They've always wanted a two-class. They've always wanted a two-class system, and they show us all the time. I mean, you look at movies like The Hunger Games. You think The Hunger Games was just something that they made up? No, they're showing us what they want. They're showing us exactly where they want to take our country. They do it all the time through predictive programming. Hunger Games is one of them. And they're saying, we got the rich that lives at the Capitol, and we got all the poors that live in the districts. What does FEMA camp have? What does FEMA have? They have a map of what? Districts. And they tell us right in our face, but Americans are too caught up in football and dumb stuff that they're not seeing it. And then it's going to come in like a thief in the night, and you're going to be crying foul, but it's your fault.
Yeah,
but
I'm just saying.
Get this. Like, you got to look at California if you want a perfect example of a hollowed out middle class. Just look at Los Angeles. Los Angeles is probably one of the most prestigiously rich areas in the United States, but in the same breath, they also have Skid Row, and there's middle classes like almost non-existent there. So if you want a perfect microcosm of what and we're all talking about, just look at Los Angeles, folks.
Kelly.
Yeah. I sped this up by like 2.5, so it'll be a little better because he speaks really slow. I did do it at 2, but then I can understand it, but I don't know if anybody that's non-ADHD could. So we'll do that.
And through innovative projects like the India, Middle East, and Europe rail corridor that I announced this year at the summit of the world's biggest economies. More predictable markets, more employment, less rage, less grievances, less war. When connected.
She banging on me like that.
Benefits the people, would benefit the people of the Middle East, and would benefit us.
Why you banging?
American leadership is what holds the world together. American alliances is what keep us, America, safe. American values are what make us a partner that other nations want to work with. To put all that at risk, if we walk away from Ukraine, we turn our backs on Israel, it's just not worth it. That's why tomorrow I'm going to send.
Hey, pause it real quick. Hold on. Pause it. Did he just say turn our back on Israel? But didn't he just fund Hamas or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure I was hearing it right.
Yeah.
He's
and again, isn't Ukraine filled with
Nazis?
Yeah, those people.
Yeah. Yep.
Side note: I thought that chick was banging on me, so I had to bang back. Like, "What's up, cuz?" You know.
I actually saw the sign language for F around and find out. It was actually pretty good. It's like
all right,
the best gang sign I've ever seen.
Yeah, I just want people to know how he double talks. You got to pay attention to people like this. He funded Hamas in Palestine. Now he's telling you we need to support Israel.
The same people as you, yeah.
Now understand, when I keep talking about everything as a rich man's trick, this is the same playbook that they've been playing by for years.
Yeah,
he's telling you to your face what he's doing. Pay attention, America.
Fund America's national security needs to support our critical partners, including Israel and Ukraine, is a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations. Help us keep American troops out of harm's way. Help us build a world that is safer, more peaceful, and more prosperous for our children and grandchildren. In Israel, we must make sure that they have what they need to protect their people today and always. The security package I'm sending to Congress and asking Congress to do is an unprecedented commitment to Israel's security.
And those that didn't hear, it's $100 million or $100 billion that he's asking for.
Sharpen Israel's qualitative military edge, which we've committed to. the qualitative military edge. We're going to make sure Iron Dome continues to guard the skies over Israel. We're going to make sure other hostile actors in the region know that Israel is stronger than ever and prevent this conflict from spreading. Look, at the same time, President Netanyahu and I discussed again yesterday the critical need for Israel to operate by the laws of war. That means protecting civilians in combat as best as they can. The people of Gaza urgently need food, water, and medicine. Yesterday, in discussions with the leaders of Israel and Egypt.
Hold on. Isn't that Hamas's job?
Yes.
Yeah.
You see how they double talk?
Isn't that Hamas's job? If Hamas is fighting for the Palestinian people,
who are located in Gaza, by the way,
isn't that your stupid job to take care of your people?
Yeah.
You think?
Isn't it the Palestinians' job to take care of Palestinians? Why, by the rules of war, should Israel have anything to do with paying the enemy? Like what, fool? See, funding, and hey, look, I'm glad that I said this long before this took place. I told you guys about the circle. They fund the war to keep the war going by putting themselves as the money maker. They fund Iran, they fund Israel, and now he's going to go fund the middleman by saying humanitarian. I told you they would do this. They're going to fund humanitarian, save the people. You think the people, if the people can't even get out of Hamas's way, you think the people are going to get that money?
Yeah.
No, he's going to send that $100 billion and split it up between the Hamas, between Iran, and between Ukraine. The Palestinian people who ain't got a dog in this fight are not going to see a hair of that money.
That's right.
And all three of those people going to give Joe Biden a kickback.
That's right.
All of them.
And this is why I've said on other episodes about we need to stay neutral.
Yeah.
We don't need to be picking sides in this because this isn't our business. This isn't our fight. You know, let them do their thing over there. Why is America always got to have our foot in everything?
Yeah. Because we can't take it. That's what it is they gotta get the only thing that these people are in for is making as much money as possible so that anything that they F up isn't going to affect them.
Right.
That's all it is. Like you just have to be rich enough for the problems don't matter.
That's right.
That's it. It doesn't matter if inflation is happening. I got more money than I need. Who cares? F them. It's the same mentality. These people are sucking everything out of the system for themselves, and they don't care what happens afterwards. They're just trying to take care of themselves and their families, and then F everybody else. That's what they're doing to America. The corruption is so bad that we know they're doing it. They're doing it in front of our faces, and they don't even care anymore. They used to hide it. They don't even hide it anymore.
Yeah.
Yep. I want to play this real quick, okay? Now, mind you, this was 6 days ago. When did he ask for this money?
This is last night.
Okay, good. Last night, right? Okay. Real quick. I'm going to share this, and I want you. This is 6 days ago, and it was recorded 8 days ago. Okay, 8 days ago it was recorded. Okay. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but sometimes when I get stuff right, I do like to get the credit for getting it right. Okay, so don't hate me for it, but I rarely take credit for stuff. This was 6 days ago, recorded 8 days ago. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Company. We believe that the United States is purposely funding both terrorists and the good guys. Okay, we believe that they're going to be able to sit back and collect money hand over fist because of the war in Ukraine and Russia, kickbacks, and because of the war in Israel and Palestine. We funded Iran. Iran funded Hamas. Hamas attacked Israel. Israel got money from America, and they also got weapons. So now Israel attacks Hamas. Hamas attacks Israel with American military things. So we get paid from both sides, and the war is going on. It'll perpetually need stuff from us. But we have to make sure we don't look like it's us. So we give the money to a third party. And the third party being Iran. Iran gets the money, gives it to Hamas. Hamas attacks Israel. Then Israel gives us a call. So we need more money. We send it to Israel. That rocket ends up in Hamas. Hamas attack. And then Iran says, hey, we need more money for humanitarian purposes. We send that money and they fund. You see the cycle? Same thing in. And exactly what took place?
You called it.
Exactly that.
Exactly what took place.
That.
You
You
have
called it.
now humanitarian needs. We need $100 billion.
Yep. In that same address, he laid the rails for war with Iran.
Yep.
He said blatantly that any attack on U.S. facilities or death of U.S. soldiers will be met with response.
Yep.
Will be like they're not even hiding the fact that they're trying to go to war with Iran. Like this has always been the plan. Has always been going after Iran for 20 years now. It's been the plan to go after Iran. Afghanistan and Iraq were just the first phases. Or actually, I would say the first phase was the invasion of Afghanistan. The invasion of Iraq was second phase. The third phase was supposed to be Iran, and they effed up, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah,
and now
by the way,
they have the best possible chance of doing so.
And Iran has nukes.
Yeah.
Now understand, Iran ain't afraid to use them neither. Okay. And who do you think gonna be the first casualty of war if they decide to attack America? It won't be DC. It'll be regular Americans. I'm just.
And you know how they're talking out of their ass about this whole situation is the UN vote. I know we're running late, but I wanted to get this one last thing in. The U.S. was the only veto for a call for ceasefire in Gaza during the UN meeting.
Will those in favor of the proposed amendment please raise their hand? Against?
Just the U.S.
Of course, they'd get an anyway.
The proposed amendment has not been adopted, having failed to obtain the required number of votes.
Colleagues, the United States is disappointed this resolution made no mention of Israel's rights of self-defense. Hamas's own actions have brought this on, this severe humanitarian crisis.
There it is.
Gaza. Every member state should call on Hamas to cease its endless barrage of rockets against Israel.
Yep.
Hey, I have my belief on that, and like I said, I don't pick sides, but like I say, I don't believe anything that comes out of these people's mouths. At all. I don't care. If they say Hamas did something, I don't believe them. If they said Israel did something, I don't believe them. I watched a video 2 days or yesterday that someone sent me, and it was someone set off a car bomb in one of these Middle Eastern, I think it was Iraq. But they set off a car bomb. You see, and the guys didn't know the cameras were there watching them. They were like one of those surveillance cameras. He gets out his car. The car bomb goes off. Then you see all these civilians run up and lay on the ground as if there's all this carnage. But they didn't know that camera was seeing this tomfoolery that they were doing. And then that's what the media does. They didn't know that camera was active. They go over there and they film all that stuff. They see bodies all over the ground. They see the ambulance picking them up, and the American people take it as truth. Do not believe these propagandists. You got to understand what Obama pushed back when he was president. What did he push with propaganda? He said it's okay, pretty much. Hey, we can push propaganda. This is all propaganda. If you talk to people from some of these countries, they'll tell you different stories. That's why we always say, talk to the people on the ground, the real people, not the media, not Anderson Cooper on top of a roof filming the Iron Dome going off and it looked like a studio. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Do not believe the media. Turn off your TV. That is our biggest weapon when it comes to this fight of information. They can't brainwash us if we're not watching it. It's okay to get a clip and share clips because this is what we do. I mean, we do it.
Yeah.
But not everybody's brain works the same. You have to turn off the TV. You have to stop watching this propaganda and taking it for truth. Because it's not. It's all propaganda. It's warmongering. Everything is a rich man's trick. We know they're playing both sides. They want us to get back behind these wars or whatever side they're picking. We're going against each other because pro-Palestine, pro-Israel, Americans are fighting. People across the world are fighting over something that we don't know really happened.
Yep.
All I know is this is fact to me. Palestine and Israel have never seen eye to eye. And they have always been fighting, and no amount of peace accords is going to stop it. I don't care what people say, and I don't care who fired the first stinking shot. I don't give a damn who fired the first shot, and I don't care who fired the second or the third. I know that they fight all the damn time. Mm-hmm. Afghanistan will fight somebody else. Iran will fight somebody. All of those people over there have anger issues. Okay, they got problems, and so they're gonna keep fighting. I say, let them fight. Just let them fight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Clean your own house before you worry about somebody else.
That's right.
Exactly.
Facts.
There's a reality on the ground of the war that people aren't really recognizing with Israel, is that we've said before, Israel has the right to defend itself, right? And the international community is complaining because Israel's bombing civilian centers, because that's where this Hamas is at.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, why can't you do a ground invasion? Because there are 300 million miles of tunnels under Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to send 18, 19, 20-year-olds, like junior warriors, devil dogs, Joes, in Michael's case, in mine, devil dogs. You want me to send them into tunnels where we have no idea where anything is, booby trap the hell, worse than Vietnam.
I said we tried that, didn't we? That
yeah.
failed.
You want me to send my guys in there to watch them get piled up in body bags just to get Hamas in those tunnels? No, it's cheaper and easier to drop an airstrike on a building than it is for me to send my guys, my young dudes, into a hole in the ground to go get them.
In either case, just don't send them at all over there.
Exactly. How about this? Don't send any troops. Zero.
Yeah.
Nothing on the ground. No weapons. No armament. Nothing.
But that's why
our butts right here in America
PR
and not
campaign
care.
Right, it's because
watch
of that.
football and watch professional sports. While that stuff is going on, that should be nothing to us.
Americans shouldn't get involved in it. I'm just saying, like, looking at this realistically, they don't have a choice.
No, we do have a choice.
Israel doesn't have a choice. We have a choice. Israel doesn't have a choice.
Israel's choice isn't our problem.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And that is why Build Back Better is on fire.
Right.
Because Build Back Better here actually means Build Back Better everywhere else, and here's not getting anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
To date, so people are understanding, to date, America is deeper in debt, and he has funded more people overseas than he has American people.
That's right.
Yep.
This president has given more money to people who are not paying taxes than he has to people who are, and still expects people who are paying taxes here to pay even more taxes to fund him sending more money overseas, and expects to build a middle class who is paying the most taxes.
Yep.
Let it make sense to you first, and if it still makes sense to you and you agree with it, you can officially get yourself one of those pointy hats with the word dunce on it and sit in the corner, because that's where you belong, and you shouldn't get dinner. You should be left alone in a room to suffer and put in a straitjacket and be left there by yourself, because you don't need to be in a society. You need to be ostracized for your stupidity and let the rest of us live. The same way we don't want government involved, we don't want y'all involved.
Exactly.
Y'all are like a lice. Okay? You're like termites. You're like roaches. You're like rats. You're like an STD is what you are, and nobody wants you. Like you're an undesirable at this point, and you can call us deplorable, but you're undesirable. Nobody wants to. You intentionally remain stupid. You intentionally do this. You're so stupid that you will look at Hamas, who has told you that they hate gays. You being gay will hold up a flag and say,
"Free Palestine."
Gays for
Palestine. That's how dumb you are. You, a black person, will put the stupid colors on your head, knowing they would string you up in a heartbeat because you don't look like them. That's how dumb you are. So remain that dumb, remain that stupid, and I tell you what, keep backing Biden, and when your pockets start to bleed, enjoy. The rest of
running to us.
We are going to try and avoid this fool as much as possible.
Arabs don't like Africans, period. I don't know
any
how
chance we get rid of him, if we can get rid of him, we're going to get rid of him. I don't care how it happens. I just want to get rid of Joe Biden.
There's, like I said, the reason I brought up the tunnels is that if we get pushed into this fight, that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to send our young men and women into tunnels to die. That's it, because it's not just going to be the Israelis that are going in those tunnels. It's going to be the young guys. It's going to be Gen Z going in those tunnels.
Ain't our problem. So I
know it's not our problem, but I'm
Gen Z is Gen Z is accessible. I think they are
effed if they have to go.
We are. If we have
Call me by my pronouns.
Oh, crack. God. If we have to depend on those people,
we're screwed. You're going to have some of these, if they send them, which I doubt they will. You're going to have some that are pro-Palestine, some that are pro-Israel. You don't know what's going to go on if they send troops on the ground. You have no idea. So this is something, again, that we should not get involved in, because even in our ranks, we have people that are for one side, people that are for the other side. And you're not going to win a fight like that. So just stay out of it.
Yep.
Period.
But we can't because there's money to be had and profits to be made.
Yep. Factual stuff.
There's people to be strung up.
That too.
Yeah. Anyway.
You'll get to the draft even like so Gen Z will happen and then they won't have enough Gen Z and then they'll go back to the millennials, which
they can try. They can try.
Yeah, they can try that because
well, you're Gen X. It doesn't matter. That's fine.
Yeah, we're old. We're too old. We'll be
I got more combat experience than all three of you guys on this dang panel right now.
Oh no,
we are too old, man. We are too old. I'm not even trying to compete with you. I'm not even going to try to compete with you.
What they'll do to Michael's, they'll take him back as a drill sergeant. Do that all over again.
And I'm gonna show up with a crack pipe in my mouth.
They're gonna say, "Welcome, Hunter."
They're gonna. I'll be like,
"Don't matter."
Somebody asked me to show
You remember
up.
the waivers back in the War on Terror? They don't care. It's like, I don't care. You're getting in there and doing your job. He's like, I already did it though.
Craziness.
I ain't going. I'll tell them right now. I ain't going. My son ain't going either.
Tomorrow, is it possible for all of you to make it for a 7 p.m. show instead of a 6?
Yeah, that's fine because that's still
that'll work for me.
7 here.
Okay, so that's 7 Eastern, which will make it 4 for you, bro.
Okay, I'm still learning time.
You see, I'm trying. You see, I'm helping you out.
Yeah, it would be 6 Central.
I got you, homie.
Yeah.
4 o'clock your time, sir. 4 o'clock your time. 7, 4.
I don't think anybody on the here now is on East Coast time. Like,
I got a
Central.
Lee isn't he? Aren't you?
Yeah,
I gotta start.
Yeah, Lee's on East.
Yeah.
Okay,
Lee's
so
on
yeah.
East. So 7 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, people. It's the Rumble Day, Rumble Dumble Fumble Tumble time. Don't miss that one. Our Rumble events have been really good. You guys have been showing up in spades, and even afterwards, you guys have been watching. It's really good. I don't think we've had a show since our first one that has been less than 1,500 views. That's nice.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Nice.
I mean, if we could translate that to here too, that'd be really good, really good. But we'll take them anyway. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss that. I'll set the show up. I won't even title anything except for uncensored because I don't think any one of us has topics yet. But we'll have them by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hooch on tomorrow? I mean on Sunday?
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
On Sunday. Okay. We're gonna cover Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. She's got a book tour going on. That's one of the topics. A couple other things, but yeah.
Keep my not wife's name out your mother
mouth.
That is so ridiculous, man. Oh, so ridiculous. But yeah, that's one of the topics. I'm sure there's something else that's going to happen this weekend, so we'll see.
Most likely.
Let me see here. Okay, so we'll catch up tomorrow on Rumble, and then you guys catch the Hooch, and we'll be back on Monday. Mr. Lee.
So like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all tomorrow, 7 p.m. Rumble.